Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where the golden torch of truth burns through every comforting lie. Okay, it's August 9th, 1969. A pregnant actress and 4 others are butchered in Benedict Canyon. The next night, a wealthy couple in Los Feliz, words scrawled in blood, pig to pigs, Helter Skelter. The official story? A hippie cult leader named Charles Manson believed the Beatles were sending him coded messages to start a race war. That story is still taught in every criminology class. It is also, at best, a half-truth. At worst, it's the most successful cover story of the entire 1960s. Today, in this video, we're going to show you why the Manson family murders may have been the final act of a decade-long CIA psychological operation. Kids, you better buckle those seats. Start with the place where Charles Manson spent more time than anywhere else in 1967 and 1968. The Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic in San Francisco. On paper, it was a noble hippie crash pad treating STDs and bad trips. In reality, it was ground zero for CIA behavioral studies on the counterculture. The clinic's research director in 1967-68, Dr. Jolyon "Jolly" West, MKUltra's most notorious psychiatrist. West had already killed an elephant with a massive LSD overdose, run hypnotic programming experiments on prisoners. Written a 1956 paper titled Psychophysiological Studies of Hypnosis and Suggestibility for the CIA. Received continuous CIA funding from 1953 until at least 1973. West's own memos, declassified, show he was in San Francisco specifically to study hippie dropouts and violent groups. Manson's parole officer, Roger Smith, was paid by the clinic. Manson and his girls were in and out every week. Clinic staff later confirmed West saw Manson almost daily. Let's pause on Dr. Jolyon "Jolly" West for a moment because his resume reads like the devil's LinkedIn. 1953, West joins MKUltra Sub-Project 43 at the University of Oklahoma. Psychophysiological studies of hypnosis and suggestibility using LSD-25 and other drugs. He is 29 years old and already one of Sidney Gottlieb's golden boys. 1954, West writes a paper titled Brainwashing, Conditioning and DD, Debility, Dependency, and Dread, the exact blueprint later used at Guantanamo. 1956, West proposes to the CIA a secret research center in California where he would combine LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and electroshock to alter fundamental personality structure. The CIA approves. Funding unlimited. 1962, Tusko the Elephant, Tulsa Zoo. West wants to test whether massive LSD doses can induce aggressive elephant rage. He injects Tusko with 297 milligrams, 3,000 times a human recreational dose. Tusko convulses, screams, and dies in 90 minutes. West's conclusion in the published paper: it appears that the elephant is highly sensitive to LSD. The unpublished memo to Gottlieb, promising for human applications. 1964, West moves to the University of Oklahoma Psychiatry Department and begins running violence research on prisoners at Vacaville State Prison, the same facility where Donald DeFreeze, future Symbionese Liberation Army leader, and Charles Manson will later be housed. 1966, West writes a letter to Gottlieb, classified 2018, proposing the creation of a Center for the Study and Reduction of Violence that would secretly test new techniques of behavior control on hippies, blacks, and anti-war demonstrators. The CIA funds it through front organizations. Location: the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic. 1967, West arrives in San Francisco wearing love beads and a fringed vest. He sets up a hippie crash pad on Cole Street where runaways are given free LSD, hypnotized, and interviewed about their political beliefs. Clinic staff later confirm Charles Manson and several family girls were regular visitors. 1968, West publishes a paper titled Hallucinogens and Violence. It contains the chilling line: certain subjects can be conditioned to commit violent acts under the influence of drugs and post-hypnotic suggestion while retaining no memory of their actions. 1973, when MKUltra is exposed, West is one of the few contractors whose files survive. He spends the next decade testifying for the government that Manchurian Candidate programming is impossible. In private letters, now declassified, he brags to Gottlieb that he has perfected it. Jolly West died in 1999. His last known project, a 1980s proposal to implant microchips in parolees' brains to monitor violent impulses. The CIA rejected it, Not because it was unethical, but because the technology wasn't ready yet. So when you realize that the man who killed an elephant with LSD, wrote the book on hypnotic assassination and ran a fake hippie clinic, was treating Charles Manson every week in 1967-68, the official Helter Skelter motive starts to look like the world's most convenient bedtime story. Now meet Reeve Whitson. To the public, he was just a friendly canyon hippie who helped lost teenagers. On his deathbed in 2004, Whitson told his family and his lawyer something very different. He had been a covert operative for both the FBI and CIA, tasked with infiltrating radical groups. He was inside the Manson family for months before the murders. He knew the Tate house was going to be hit. He was there the morning after the murders, before the bodies were even discovered, taking photographs for someone in Washington. When journalist Tom O'Neill FOIA'd Whitson's name at the CIA, standard response: neither confirm nor deny the existence or non-existence of records. The same answer they give for MKUltra subjects. Manson didn't invent his programming techniques in prison. He used textbook MKUltra methods: sleep deprivation, isolation in the desert, repeated high-dose LSD combined with sexual trauma and ego destruction, constant repetition of a single apocalyptic narrative, Helter Skelter. Where did the acid come from? The same pipeline that flooded Laurel Canyon, CIA stockpiles funneled through Captain Al Hubbard and other agency cutouts. By 1967, the CIA had purchased the entire remaining legal supply of LSD in the world. A 1976 Senate report on Operation Chaos openly bragged that the drug culture had fragmented the New Left and rendered it politically impotent. The murders themselves served chaos perfectly. Black Panther graffiti at the crime scenes, death to pigs slogans. The entire country turned against hippies overnight. The peace and love movement was now synonymous with satanic murder. Prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi built the entire Helter Skelter motive around Manson's supposed Beatles obsession. In private, decades later, he admitted to Tom O'Neill, "Manson was too intelligent to believe his own race war story. I needed a motive the jury would buy." Over 100 pieces of physical evidence were suppressed. A planned LAPD raid on Spahn Ranch weeks before the murders was mysteriously called off. Federal hold, sources said. Bugliosi's star witness, Linda Kasabian, immunity in exchange for testimony that never mentioned drugs, intelligence, or the clinic. So what was Charles Manson? A lone madman? Or the perfect cutout for an agency that needed the counterculture to self-destruct in the most spectacular way possible? The Golden Torch doesn't give easy answers. It only shows you the shadows the official story was designed to hide. If this video just made the summer of '69 feel a lot colder, subscribe to Stateless Standard. We don't sell nostalgia, we dissect it. Stay vigilant, stay free.